Hi, I'm Chris Adams. Today I'm going to talk about perfect fourths tuning, part 17, minor triads across the fretboard in first position, first inversion. So the goals of Guitar in Fourth Gear this whole series is to use perfect fourths tuning to simplify the patterns and help experienced guitarists move away from caged, the box-based thinking to intervallic understanding and kind of relearn guitar from first principles thinking. This is what I did. I played guitar for a long time, 40 years or more, and I got stuck, and this is a way to get kind of unstuck and replace memorized patterns of the cage shapes that you might have worked with a real understanding of how the notes fit together, and also how to use studying music to be like a lifelong pursuit of mental puzzles and stuff that will keep you active while the robots run the world. What is perfect fourths tuning? It's tuning fourths straight across. So if you're used to tuning your guitar at the 5th fret and then you switch over to the 4th fret to tune the rest, you don't do that anymore. It's 5th frets all the way across, which is fourths all the way across. So this guitar is tuned up. So I have E, A, D, G, C, F. So that C and F are tuned up. On this guitar, I use very light strings, 8s. This is an 8. Most guitars I tune down. This guitar I actually usually tune down, but I decided to make it standard tuning. So this is E. If you want to play along, I usually turn down with my Stratocaster, tune down a half step, get that better tones. By the end of this lesson, you'll have learned how to play minor triads in first position using 4 fretboard patterns, and it should open up the pathway across the neck. There's going to be a link in the description to PDF about triads and how you can play them. There's 4 versions of the chord. There's going to be the 1, 3, 5 on adjacent strings. So there's 4 versions of how to play the first position triad in the same octave. There's actually a lot more, but we'll stick with this. So it'll be the 3, 5, 1 on adjacent strings, and the 3, 5, 1 on a pair of strings with third on the first string, and then on the next set of strings, and then the third variation is 3, 5, 1, 3 and 5 on the same string, and 1 on the next string, and the final possibility is 3, 5, 1 all on the same string. And those are here visually here. So starting with the this shows them in a different spot. So this is in a different key. Oh, here we go. To show at the 3rd fret, and then 3rd fret again. Whoops. That's the 2nd version, and the 3rd version, and the fourth variation. Okay, so this row is the second row in this page. So we have up here, we have the root positions starting on root, then we have first inversion, and then this is second inversion. So it's very systematic. So once you learn the idea of shifting between the shapes, each one is going to be a slightly different shape, but the same idea. And by breaking guitar down this way, hopefully it's not as confusing, because you say, okay, I have 3 notes together on these different strings. So if I play this, these notes, whoops, it's the upper left one, and then if I keep going, same note, whoops. So anyway, hopefully I didn't just confuse you, but I just played the first, second, and third diagrams on the left. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, as you move through this series, if you follow along, you're going to get there, and then with a little bit of time and effort, you can take these 4 triads, and we're going to work through all 4 of this in the same way. And the diminished, the augment is going to be kind of like weird, or I don't know if it's weird or not, but it's completely symmetrical. So you're going to play the same thing over and over again, but it's worth talking about. So how it works is we're going to take the shapes, those 4 simple shapes, and we're going to work them across the neck. And this diagram here is the whole thing across across 24 frets if you got them. And you'll see it might be kind of overwhelming to see all of this at once. I color code my intervals so that the thirds are all purple, major thirds are blue for me, and the fifths are all green, and the roots are all black. So so for the first one, it's going to be the I've got to go correct this. Please hold. Okay, for the first version of this, we have the 3-5-1 on adjacent strings. So the chord we're working with is A minor. And so we're going to, instead of playing it up here with the root first, we're going to start on the 3rd, which is on the 8th fret. So that's our shape. We're going to start on the 3rd, and we're going to have the 3rd, the 5th, and the root. And so why this is useful to learn for a lot of reasons. But one is if you're playing a blues note, a blues riff or whatever, up here in the maybe more familiar kind of box shape, and you know that, oh, I can go down this way too. All right, so it's good to learn these patterns, because as you're improvising, which is kind of my goal, is to learn to improvise freely, and you have these small pieces, it's like, oh, I know. I can catch these up at different places. Okay, so without further ado, so this is going up this way on the octaves, and you can see the color patterns hopefully. So we have 3rd, 5th, root, and then up. And then I'm running out of frets or strings. Whoops. Okay, so that's one way to do it. And then here's going this way on the neck. So we start again in the same position. And then our octave is going to be here. So the octave from the 8th fret on the E string is going to be the 5th fret on the G string. Okay, and then here we are on 5 different strings. So here's on the 8th, starting on the 8th fret, and then the 3rd fret, same notes, a little bit of different tone, I guess. If you have, you want to play them differently. If you just find yourself in a different spot, and then here on the 5th, starting on the 5th fret of the G string, and then we can play here, same notes, and then we're up here. And so again, I keep hammering on this, but it's kind of the point. Perfect fourth tuning makes this possible, so that we have the same shape here, and then here. So if we weren't in perfect fourth tuning, this, and this would be 3 different shapes. But in perfect fourth, 1 shape. Okay, the second variation is doing 3-5-1 on a pair of strings with a 3rd on one string and the 5th and the root on the other one. So this is a big stretch, especially for me with my broken finger. So we're going up a 4th from the So this is a minor chord, but it's the major third interval within that chord. So that's kind of something neat to realize. So that here's our chord shape from the root. And when we start from here, it's a minor third and a major third and a fourth. So once you get used to the shape, you can play it, you can slide. You can slide up to the root like that, or you can tap, or whatever to get up there, or you can just stretch. Okay, and we'll go through, so this is going up the neck this way. So 8, 7, 12, and then what is this, 10, 9, 14, and then what are we at, 12, 11, and 16. And so now we're going to go this way up the neck. So start at the 8th fret, 8, 7, 12, and then 5, 4, 9 for fret numbers. So we're still always in the in A minor here. And the last one, we're going to get all across the neck. So we're going to have first on the 8, 7, 12, and then 3, 2, 7, and then we're going to go to the D string. We're going to be at 9. What is this? 10, 9, 14th fret, and then we're going to go here on the G string, and then finally on the C string in this case. Okay, then we're going to go to the version. Sorry, this is actually the third version. Anyway, let me see if I need to fix this. Nope, I do. So this is going to be the third version of playing chords this way, and we're going to go with the third, and we're going to go up to the 5th and the root. Okay, so the first way is to play them all the way across the strings this way, one at a time. 3rd, 5th, root. The second way, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th, root. And then this is the third variation, 3rd, 5th, root. Okay? So we're going to go up the neck this way. So we're going to be 8, 12, 12. Then we're going to be, we can go to 10, 14, 14. And we can go to 12, 12, 16, 16. So this is this first jump here is a major third, like I said before, and then this is a fourth going up to the root. Okay? So this is going this way, up the octave that's 3 frets and 3 strings. So we're going to go 7, 12, 12, and we're going to be up to, 8, 12, 12, and then 5, 5, 9, 9. Okay, and now playing across the neck here, we're going to, start on the 8, 12, 12, 3, 7, 7, 5, 9, 9. And then the same notes in the same octave, just different strings at the 10th fret, 10, 14, 14. And then up to the 12th fret. I snuck the root in there just to make sure we're still on the same page. Now the fourth version here is all on one string. So we do 8, 12, 12, and then 17. So we have the major third interval and fourth interval. So now we're going to go up the octave. So now we have, always kind of had it. We're just going to go up and over 2 frets, and we have our octaves. Okay, so that's going up the neck this way. Then this is going down, and I kind of included, so when we start here on the 8th fret, our octave repeats up at the 7th fret, so it's kind of sort of going this way. So, and same with the other octave. I'm not sure why I did it exactly this way, to be honest with you. So here it is, 1 string starting on the E, 8th fret of the E string, and then going up to the D string starting on the 10th fret. Whoops. And then finally going on to the F string. Whoops. Right, sorry. All right, and then finally across all 6 strings now, so we can have from the 8th fret, 8, 12, 17, right? And then from the 3rd fret, 3rd, 7, and then 12. Then from the 9th fret on the D string, 10th fret on the D string, so 10, 14, 19. And then we're back to the 5th fret on the G string. So we're at 5, 9, 14 for the fret, and then we're at the 12th fret on the C string, and then we're at the 7th fret on the F string. Oops. Okay. So again, we just did the middle row here, and we have one more row to do on this page, which is the starting from the 2nd inversion, which is on the 5th. So thanks for watching this, and take your time, and with a few weeks of deliberate, consistent effort, it will be worth it. So this whole thing that I'm doing here is more to build vocabulary, like one word at a time. So if you're used to doing like the rock stuff and then maybe going down, but then having that riff and not really knowing how it fits together, these are the smaller pieces that you can say, aha, this is where this riff comes from and that riff comes from, and then you can start connecting them together using smaller pieces instead of the larger riffs that you might be more familiar with, larger riffs and shapes. So these are my books for some of my books, I guess I could say at this point. The first book on the left there is to transition your mindset from caged thinking into perfect fourth thinking, and how to do it, and how, just like sales pitch for perfect fourth tuning. The next one with the metallic cover is all about triads, and it's a lot of studies like this. Very step one, day one, just get it right and get it under your fingers, just one step at a time. So not really for absolute beginners, but rethinking guitar as someone who's been playing for a long time. Whether you're advanced or not is maybe separate. Anyway, thanks again for watching. You can catch up with me more on my website. I write, it's not even a picture. I write books about music, books about code. I do coding. I have videos about code. So check me out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.